Good morning, class 5. Welcome back to our literature online class. And now we begin with our second chapter. I request you to open page number 17. We'll start our second chapter, the iron beam. The iron beam. Children, do you know what is an iron beam? Yes, the iron beam is a long piece of iron which is used to hold your roofs. You might be wondering how your roofs are standing upon your heads. So these iron beams are used there. They are used there, and that is why your roofs are held on your tops. So children, this is a story about two friends, Naduk and Lakshman. Naduk was a very rich merchant, but due to some losses, he had lost his money and also came under the debts. Debts, कर्ज के नीचे दब गया था. तो to pay away all his loans and debts, he had to sell everything that he possessed. He was left with only one thing, that was the iron beam. So this iron beam he kept with his friend and went to some other cities to try his luck again. And he was lucky that he became rich again. And when he came back to his friend Lakshman to take his iron beam back, he did not get it back. Lakshman ditched him. But due to his tricky mind, Naduk got his iron beam back by teaching Lakshman a lesson. Let's see how he taught a lesson to him and how he got his iron beam back. So once there was a rich merchant called Naduk. As time went by, his business became so bad that he not only lost money but also got into debts. So once there was a rich merchant whose name was Naduk. He was a rich merchant. As time went by, his business became so bad, he got losses, that he not only lost all his money but also got into debt. Means कर्जे के नीचे भी दब गया. Naduk was unhappy. It was no use staying in the city any longer, so he decided to go on a long journey to try his luck elsewhere. So now Naduk became very unhappy because he had lost everything he had. So he thought that's no use staying in the city again and just repenting on the things. And so he decided to go on a long journey, to go to some other places to try his luck. Try his luck means to try his fortune, to work somewhere else so that he could get some money. So he had to sell almost everything he had in order to pay off his debts. So he had to sell everything. Whatever he had, he sold everything and paid back all the debts. So all that he was left with, which was of some value, was a heavy iron beam. So he was left with only a iron beam, heavy iron beam. So before leaving, Naduk went to see his good friend Lakshman. He was sorry to hear of Naduk's misfortune and unhappy that he was going away. Is there anything I can do for you, my friend? He asked. So before leaving the village, Naduk went to meet his good friend Lakshman. So Lakshman was very sorry to hear that Naduk has lost everything, and he was very unhappy also that he is going away. So then he asked him, is there anything I can do for you? Can I help you in any ways? Well, replied Naduk, I have a very heavy iron beam, which I would like to leave with you. Will you keep it more for me till I return? So Naduk said, you can just do one favor for me. That is, I have one heavy iron beam. I cannot take it along with me to the other places. So I just want to keep it with you. Will you keep it with you till I return? When I will return, I'll take it back. So he said, is that all? Said Lakshman. No doubt. I will keep it for you. You can be sure the beam will be quite safe with me. I shall give it back to you whenever you want it. So Lakshman said, only this much? Okay, no problem. I will keep it. I will take care of it even, and it is safe. It will be lying safe with me, and when you return, I will give it back to you. Okay. Naduk thanked his friend and went home. A few days later, he left the city. Then Naduk thanked his friend for helping him, and after a few days, he left the city to try his luck somewhere else. So now, many years passed. Naduk went far and wide. Far and wide means dur dur tak gaya, carrying on his trade. He was lucky. He did good business and soon became rich again. He then returned to his home with plenty of money. He bought a new house and started his business in a big way. So many years passed. He tried his luck on other places. He kept on trying his trade, and he was lucky that he did a good business. And very soon he became a rich person again. Then he returned to his home place with a lot of money with him. And now, when he came back to the city again, he bought a new house and started a big business again. After some time, he went to visit his friend Lakshman. Lakshman was glad to see Naduk and welcomed him warmly. They talked of Naduk's travels abroad and business. Later, as he was about to leave, Naduk said, "Now I am here. May I have my iron beam back?" So after some time, this Naduk went to his to his friend Lakshman again. Then they talked about his business and his travels abroad, outside, and how he did his business again, how he became rich again. He told everything to his friend. And when he was about to leave, Naduk asked him for his iron beam. So Lakshman looked very worried. He had no intention of returning the beam because he knew it would fetch a good price if he were to sell it. So he said, "I don't know how to tell you this." So Lakshman, he did not want to give the iron beam back to Naduk because he knew it was very costly and it would fetch him a very good price if he sold it in the market. So he tried to make a lame excuse. He said, "I don't know how to tell you this. Something bad happened. I put the beam safely in my storeroom, but now I find that mice have eaten it." Children, can mice eat an iron beam? Yes, certainly no. So he made a lame excuse. He said that, "I don't know how to tell you this. I'm very sad to tell you this, that I kept your beam safely in my storeroom, but there some mice had eaten it up. And I'm really very sorry for it. Beams of that kind are difficult to get, or I would have brought another for you." He said that such kind of beams are very hard to find in this world. So I cannot buy another for you. Otherwise, I would have bought a new one for you. I cannot replace it. I cannot give you any one because the mice have eaten it. I'm helpless. "Please don't feel bad about it," said Naduk. "It was not your fault that the mice ate my beam. This just goes to show that nothing lasts forever." So Naduk understood. But he said, "Don't feel bad about it, Naduk. It is not your fault. Everything doesn't last everywhere, every time, forever. Sorry." Means वो कहता है कि हर चीज़ हमेशा के लिए नहीं रहती. This I know. Everything has to be perished. Perishable क्या होती है? हर चीज़ एक दिन ख़त्म होती है. So, as he was leaving, he said, "By the way, Lakshman, I have a present for you, which I bought during my travels. Will you ask your son Ramu to come home with me? I will send it back with him." So, as Lakshman was about to leave, an idea struck his mind. So, he told Lakshman that when I was on my travels, I bought a gift for you, but I forgot to bring it to your house. Now, would you please send your son Ramu with me so that I can give it to your son and he can bring it to you? Lakshman felt very guilty. So Lakshman felt very guilty. बड़ा उसको feel हुआ कि not only had he got away with his lie, but Naduk seems to believe him. Now he said that it seems कि Naduk has believed me. उसको मुझ पर विश्वास हो गया है. At the same time, he was anxious to see what his friend had got for him. Now he also wanted to see his gift also, what Naduk had brought for him. So he called Ramu and asked him to go along with Naduk. So he sent his son Ramu with him, with Naduk, to take the gift. Naduk took the boy home. He led him to the cellar of his house, locked him in, and went about his work. So what Naduk did? Naduk took his son with him. He took him to the cellar. Cellar means storehouse of his house. Locked him there and went out to do his works. He locked his son in his storeroom. When the boy did not return home by evening, his father got worried. He went to Naduk and asked him where the boy was. So the hours passed by and Ramu did not return home. Lakshman was worried that my boy has not returned. Now he went to Naduk's house and asked him, Naduk, where is my son? Now Naduk tried to befool him. He said, something terrible happened when we were on our way here, replied Naduk. A hawk swooped down and carried him off before I could do anything. So Naduk said that something terrible happened when we were coming to our home. A hawk you know, eagle, very huge eagle. It swooped down, वो नीचे आई, and he carried your son off and I could not do anything. Now, can a hawk carry a 15-year-old boy? Can a hawk carry you people? No, it was also a lie. Now, that is a lie, shouted Lakshman. How can a bird carry off a 15-year-old boy? So Lakshman said that it is a lie. A bird cannot carry off a 15-year-old boy. A quarrel started between Naduk and Lakshman. So Naduk and Lakshman, they started quarreling. A big crowd gathered as the two men shouted at each other. Finally, they decided to go to court. So many people gathered there to see that these two people are shouting and fighting with each other. Now finally they went to the court. As soon as they entered the magistrate's room, Lakshman cried, Your Honor, this man has stolen my son. Please ask him to give me back my boy. So when they entered the magistrate, you know who's magistrate? Magistrate is the judge. When they entered the judge's room, Lakshman cried, Your Honor, this man, Naduk, has stolen my son. Please ask him to give me back my son. The magistrate was very annoyed. The magistrate ordered Naduk to do so. The magistrate ordered Naduk to return his son. Now Naduk said, Sir, how can I, when before my very eyes a hawk carried off the boy? What could I do? So Naduk said, Sir, I cannot do anything because before my eyes, मेरी आंखों के सामने ही, a hawk carried off the boy. Now I cannot do anything. I'm helpless. You are a liar, shouted the magistrate. How can a bird fly off with a boy? So the magistrate said, You are telling a lie. A bird cannot carry a boy. This is impossible. So to this, Naduk replied, If the mice at Lakshman's place can eat up an iron beam, then a hawk can also carry off a boy. So Naduk, in one line, he explained that if mice can eat an iron beam, तो similarly a hawk can also carry a boy. जैसे वो झूठ सच हो सकता है, वैसे ही ये झूठ भी सच हो सकता है. The magistrate wanted to know what it was all about. So now magistrate wanted to know the story. What is the problem? Where is the problem? Naduk related the whole story. So he told the whole story to the magistrate. Now people in the courtroom had a good laugh. So everybody started laughing, and because they understood the matter. The magistrate then ordered Lakshman to return the iron beam to Naduk and Naduk to return Lakshman's son. So the magistrate ordered both of them to return their friends' things. He ordered Naduk to return Lakshman's son and he ordered Lakshman to return Naduk's iron beam. So this was the story. The moral of the story is truth wins in the long run. So nobody should say a lies. So children, exercises of this chapter we will do in our next session. I hope you understood the story and enjoyed the story. So children, keep reading and keep watching the video again and again to understand the chapter, and you yourself also read the story. Goodbye children.